Welcome to this next episode of the Beloved Miracles Couples Project. Today, I'm reaching from Norway to Dallas, Texas, USA. Hello, Geraldine and Paul.
Hi,
Hey,
thank you very much.
How are you? Thank you so much for having us.
Geraldine and Paul have been in the profession of network marketing for 10 years, 7 of those years full-time. Today, they have an organization of over 50,000 distributors in 70 countries. They believe that to become successful in this profession, you have to build a mentality of abundance and work upon a solid foundation of your beliefs and thoughts. So, Paul and Geraldine, where does your story begin?
First of all, thank you so much for having us. This is an honor that you thought about us. Well, Paul and I have been married for 25 years. We have 3 adult children, but they always be our kids. And I'm a psychologist, and Paul is an engineer. And we started flirting with network marketing about 15 years ago. And we just touched a little bit about what network marketing was, but really didn't get into it. And after 10 years ago, we were invited again to a company, and we really wanted financial freedom. You know, we really wanted a time with our family, and we had good jobs, but we didn't have the time. So even if you have the money, but the time is so important in everything in your life, in our lives. So we start looking at network marketing as an option. And I tell you, it was really hard at the beginning, especially for me. I'm a psychologist, so I was not trainable. I was not coachable, because I thought, you know, I'm a psychologist. I know that's what I do. I talk to people, and realizing that this is a beautiful industry in every way. And you have to learn it, and you have to overcome your fears, and you have to work on yourself a lot. Was an amazing journey. And 7 years ago, we started doing it in a professional way, and we live of this profession. From 7 years ago, that's all we do. We do absolutely network marketing, and we're very, very proud and very happy. And we touch a lot of lives, which is, I think it's when you do this for a long time, and money is not longer an issue. I tell you, money is just like the cherry on the top of the ice cream, because what really, really matters, at least for me, and I can tell for Paul too, is the transformation that we have during that process, and the changes that we discover in ourselves, and all the friends that we made, and all the amazing life that this profession gives you. So now we do it, and we love it, and that's all we do. And we work together, which is the best part of it, is that allows us to live our work and our life, and we're best friends. So be 24/7 is just a great thing to be our business and our world and everything. So yeah,
like Geraldine mentioned, we were looking for that time. We were looking for that freedom, and with our children, our family was number one. And our jobs, we had good positions, but they took a lot of our time. We're talking from 7 in the morning until 8 at night, and we had a lot of responsibilities. And we have to find a way to get out of that. And we found network marketing, but by surprise, we had that learning curve, like you were talking about, that dip, right? So we went from our profession, and we started part-time in the evening, started working on network marketing. And we found that we had a lot to learn at the very beginning. And we struggled like everybody. We had to find a way. And we were very resistant, very resilient. And we found that way. And over years, and now it's paid off. It's really, really paid off.
But we're still learning, though.
Yeah, you never stop. There's so much. There's the social media.
Yes.
There's the people side of it. You know, the technical, the products. There's so much involved, and we've had the opportunity to study it and apply it, and it's gone well for us.
Yes.
Yeah, it sure has, in terms of the numbers that you guys have achieved, and the lives that you've affected, right? Geraldine, I have a sense that you're probably doing more psychology in this industry than you would have the opportunity to affect as many lives of in your past profession.
Well, I worked for many, many years as a counselor, and I work most of the things that I did. I work in many organizations that empower mostly women to discover the strength and all the wonderful things that they had inside, and to reconcile with their lives and to live an amazing life, regardless of whatever their biography said. And one of the things that I learned, which is actually really interesting, because when I work mostly with women and men that were sexually abused as children in my career. And one of the things that I noticed in most of the cases were that in their present lives, they had a trend of violence. And it was interesting to know, is like, why are they presenting violence in their present life? Well, it was because that's what they knew. That's exactly what information was in their mind. And what we do as counselors is we don't give advice. We try to help the person to reconcile with their own biography and to empower their lives and understand that those thoughts of deserving less, or those thoughts are not the thoughts that they could choose in the present moment. And I tell you one thing, in every way in our lives is the same. We reproduce in our lives what we believe we deserve. Like, we have a hard drive that is going to manifest what we think we are. And one of the things that I learned is saying, well, I want to create abundance, but how can I create abundance if I am not an abundant person? It's the same with any of the clients or any of the patients that we had. They want to have a meaningful life, but they didn't feel meaningful inside. And that's all of us, that we have to really feel that we deserve it, that we deserve to be rich and love and have all the beautiful things, but we have to build them inside us in order to be able to manifest them as our reality. So when I start doing that process on my own, on reconciling with money, realizing what were our beliefs about money, because we had money but we didn't have time, and if we didn't work very, very hard, we wouldn't have the money. So money was just a recompensa, an achievement of what we were doing. It was paying for it, but we were not attracting abundance to our life. We were only bringing money, not abundance. So we say we have to learn that process of really building ourselves and changes our thoughts about how money is earned, how abundant life is, how beautiful and powerful we are inside to bring able to manifest the same. And that was just a beautiful and very interesting process of our own, that what we learn now, we try to share it with the people that is in our organizations. So when we talk to the people, they say, yes, you have to do all the work that the industry teaches you to do. You have to do the calls, you have to do the follow-up, you have to everything that is absolutely incredibly you need to do it. But if you don't have that platform of self-worth, a platform belief that you actually can achieve it, because you have the right to get it, because abundance is for everybody, because it's your natural birthright, because it's right there for you, waiting for you. If you don't have that built inside, it's going to be a very long process to attract it. And we always say, why two different persons, that one, and they do exactly the same thing, but one attracts a lot of very good things and the other one doesn't. Why is that? The real thing is what they think about themselves. So one of the things that we really want to empower people to do is work in your thoughts. Realize how's your relationship with money. Realize how you feel about life, how you feel about yourself. Do you really think you deserve to be abundant? Do you really believe that this is inside you? And if it's not, we have to transform that. So we work in all our trainings, in everything that we can share with the people, is transform that before you want to transform anything. So yeah, in a way it is. And it was started with myself. It started applying it in the change in me, So now that I, doing more or less okay, because you never master anything, you're always learning. We share that with the people because that worked for us.
Yeah, so totally. Very well said.
We did the same thing.
Yeah, just my story, our story. She's a psychologist. I'm an engineer. I had a different mindset, and that was a different change for me. It wasn't much of a change for her. She was already involved in that, and I was not. So people who are involved in a different mindset, you have to adapt that. You really do, to succeed. And that is the #1 challenge that was for me to go into network marketing, is to understand and help people and understand the psychology. And yeah, that's basically it.
Is that where the word, you mentioned it earlier, resilience? Is that, can you explain how you would, and let's imagine yourselves, like what I would think would be really interesting is if, however you were first introduced, well, let's start there. How were you introduced to network marketing? Did it kind of knock on your door, or did you go seek it out and then engage people out of your desire for the information about it?
Reality, my wife went looking for it.
It's always the woman.
I know. It's true. I was focused on my job. I had a lot of responsibility, and I was consumed there, and I didn't have time to look for something else. I was trying to better myself there and move up in what I seen or had or my path, and I wasn't looking at other things, and a whole different mindset, a whole change, a whole career change. And like I said, my wife found the network marketing. So
yes.
Okay. So now a new Geraldine comes to you guys, and I'm sure this has happened already, right? That you almost see yourself showing up now to the wiser you. How do you approach that, Paul? And I'm curious again around this word resilience. How would you respond to their desire for this freedom and more time and all this industry? But right often, I'm wounded from past experiences. This has not gone well before. So where do you start someone like that? How do you begin to set their mind on the right course to the level of success that you guys have accomplished?
Okay, what I found and what I felt, and first of all is what I felt. I was getting a lot of rejection. Geraldine was doing great. Yes, yes, yes. And I said, okay, I'm going to try this. And I was getting no, no, no. And I said, come on. And I was taking a beating. And I started thinking, it's like sports. We can send people out there. We don't have to train them. We can send them out on the mat, out on the team, and they get beat and they get beat. And eventually nobody wants to play anymore or do the sports. They walk away. They're frustrated. Frustration sets in. And that's where the resilience sets in, okay? That's where I have to have that support team. And first was my psychological mindset. I have to be prepared. And I'm getting no's. And for me, why am I getting no's? What am I portraying to the people? What am I visually portraying to those people, why they're saying no to me? Do I have the knowledge of the product? Do I have that support experience, other uplines or somebody who can help me out? Do I know the back office? Do I know the products? Do I know social media? Do I know how to create a list? How do I know how to help the people create the list? So once I see my support, then I could transfer it to the next person on. But I could not do that until I had the majority of it set and understood. So that's how I built resilience, by reaching out. And you have to reach out for help. That's resilience. Doing it by yourself is not being resilient, trying to get those no's and getting beaten up and keep taking it and understanding, or how can I take all these no's? It's not about that. The resilience is how to reach out and get that help and build that circle of help.
And it also, if you allow me just to add a little bit of what Paul said, one of the things that is important to understand, and I think this is a crucial thing for everybody in the profession, is that this is not an easy profession. And people think that it's, just tell a couple of friends and you're going to be okay and you're going to be rich very soon, because, and it is not true. It is. And I always say to the people, if they told you it's easy, they lie to you. Don't lose your money. Like, get the refund right now, because you're going to pay a lot of auto ships for many months before this, it starts going, because it's the truth. But it's like any business. But this particular profession, is most of the, I think is one of the most difficult professions that are out there, because we challenge with a lot of things. We challenge with the mentality of the people. We challenge with our own mentality. We challenge with, there's, so we have to be emotionally and mentally prepared to, as Paul say, to the nose, and to learn and to get the team and to get help. Now, one of the great things, like Paul says, is that this profession allows you to work in teams, and to be able to grow together, and to be able to take advantage of the support of other people, which makes it a lot easier. But we have to be conscious that this is not an easy profession, and you have to be ready for the no's. The no's are the most difficult thing. I tell you one thing, I think most of the people leave because so many people tell me no. That's it. Like nobody wants it. Everybody say no, because it's our nature. Nobody wants to hear a no. Our nature as human beings is to be accepted, to be a yes. Yes, I embrace you. I accept you. Whatever you're bringing to me, I like it because I like you. When somebody says no to us, at the beginning, we don't know how to, is he saying no to me? Is he saying no to the business, or what is he saying no? But we feel it as you're saying no to me, and that hits me, and that hurts people. So one of the things that we work with them is precisely in that, in resilience part. You have to be prepared for the no's, because you're going to get a lot of no's. And the more no's you get, the better you do. Like, that's it. Our son does network marketing too. He does it full time. He's 22 years old, and he's like right into it. And, he comes home and he goes, guess how many no's I had today? 6. And he's like, but he's not sad or anything. Because he knows that he's in a process, that eventually one person say yes, and then, one time somebody say to me, network marketing, you work, and nothing. You work, nothing. You work, and I can go like that. And then suddenly it started going a little bit, and like a little seed. And it started growing and growing and growing, and then you can't stop it. Like you can't stop it. We are so blessed, and we feel really, really grateful that we have so many people in our organization. We can't stop it. Like, we could, hey, stop consuming. Like, don't, we don't want to stop it, though. To be clear. But it's just like, it's just the work that you do pays off after. It doesn't pay you right there. So,
and apart from that, you build that service mindset as well.
Yes.
When you have a team of 50,000 people, you've spent a lot of time with those people, and you gave a lot of your time. And it's not because you don't like it. You end up liking it, and you love it. So you give the service, and you will see your business just duplicate, triplicate, just grow incredibly if you give that service to them. But give the correct service. Know what you're talking about. Know how to build. Know how to help the people, and help them be resilient. Help them train. Be successful. Build globally. Build locally. You need to know all of that as well to help your team out. So we've gone through that whole process from day one. Our first distributor.
yes.
I can hear that. Yeah, I can hear the engineer thinking there, and I'd like to bring in. I'd like to bring in systems, right? Because Paul, as an engineer, I mean, there are many systems that would be used in almost any type of engineering, right? Systems would be at play in this industry. Where did you guys first notice a word like a system and systems showing up in this industry, in your experience of it?
Just a part on my side, and when at the very beginning we didn't really see the system. We were trying trial and error, trying not to get no's more than anything, trying to convince. We really didn't know the system yet, and we were trying to develop one. But where we really knew the system, in my opinion, it might be a little different, is when we start having more distributors saying yes, yes, yes. and how we had to help them, and how the demand started coming onto us, and to help. We had a responsibility to them. And that's when we start building systems, training systems, videos, have all that package prepared for them, meetings. If you didn't have the system in place, you were lost. You couldn't manage it and help the people.
And we also, I mentioned to you that I was not coachable at all, and it was a terrible thing because it cost us a lot of money and a lot of years. And I tell you, if I could say that to anyone, is please really save your money and save your time. Be coachable. Just learn from the people that have done it. That's it. It's nothing to. No profession is similar, but it's not. This is completely a different thing, right? I mean, it's not completely, but this is their own. It has its own techniques and system and personality. This profession, I don't know if that's a word for it, but we have to learn a system in order to do it. It's like a franchise. If you buy a McDonald's is going to be the same McDonald's even if you are in Berlin or you are in Cancun. I mean, maybe a couple of things change because of the country, a little bit of sauce here or whatever, but it's going to be the same hamburger, the same Big Mac, the same. It's almost the same. This is an industry that you have to follow a system in order to make it successful, and you have to learn it. And we talked about in the beginning, you have to make the calls, you have to make your leads, you have to have your why, you have to not convince people. There's a lot of things that we have to learn and put them in place. And however, I want to go back a little bit. If you don't have, in my experience and in my opinion, of course, this is just me, it has worked for me. If you don't have that mindset, strength, and built, and that heart of success built or rebuilt or formed, that system, it's going to take a little bit longer of time to get there. Yes.
And as for systems, we found that the system has to be simple. Otherwise, it gets watered down. As it goes further down and you're not directly involved, that system, you have to make sure it doesn't break down. So you have to intervene, not just with your top leaders. You have to intervene further down in your distributors to ensure that that system is still functioning correctly and that's not watering down, failing. So the system is just not a system. We have to make sure that it's being implemented correctly and it's being followed and everybody's understanding it all the way through your organization.
Yeah, you're right. There's a level of nurturing, right? Almost like a farmer needs to, as you mentioned earlier, a seed, really nurture and tend to that seed, ongoing, I hear.
Yes. Well, we all like to feel loved and cared, right? And we all like to feel that we belong to somewhere. And it's a natural, it's a nature. So when we give that to the people, I mean, you empower the people to continue, right? Like if I nurture, I call them, I'm there, I show the people that I care, it is most likely that they stay longer in the business, because sometimes people leave because they don't believe in themselves. But if you hold to them a little bit longer and you pamper them, I don't know if that's the word, but you nurture and you support as much as they allow it. Because one of the things that I always say is, do not convince anyone. If you convince someone to do the business, you will carry it forever. You will be responsible. If they fail, they will blame you. If they succeed, they will not remember you. But really, don't convince anyone. Let the people do. But there's some people that sometimes fear doesn't allow all of us to continue in something, because fear is a natural emotion that we all feel in a moment of our lives all the time. We all have felt fear. And if somebody's there to nurture us and empower us and help us to discover that, you know what, maybe I'm stronger than what I thought, or maybe I have a couple of things that are really, really good that I didn't know, and maybe I'm good to public speaking, or maybe I'm good to compliance or products. But if I have someone that embraces me, empowers me and nurtures me, it's most likely I'm going to be successful. So that's why we like to go down deep in the organization, and of course respecting leadership. Of course, there are leaders that have, but we always say we are, somewhere in the organization up there, never the uplines. I mean, you have to become humble. I tell you, I truly believe, and Paul and I have always said, the higher your rank is, the more commitment to service you have. Not divas and divas and network marketing. Oh, I'm this rank and I'm this rank and don't talk to me. No, 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 no. Your rank is higher. Now you serve more people and you're there for them. You're there for them to help in anything that you can, respecting the leadership there, but to support them. If you can call me anytime, I'm here to support you. So nurturing, Timothy, I think is one of the most important things in holding a team, because teams can grow, but they can fall in any minute. That's why you always have to be recruiting. That's a reality. But in order to hold a team and maintain that system along, you have to have that communication, that emotional and intellectual communication with your team.
Beautiful. So to bring it a little bit full circle here, if we can, and there's a question, I'll see if I can inject into this question, like a double question. The next one is, what specific advice would you have for couples like yourself, right? Couples who are building together. And then the part I'd like to add to that, if you're willing to do that, is specific to you, Geraldine, because you had mentioned being so uncoachable. And so maybe in the answer of advice for couples building together, how did you overcome being uncoachable? What cracked that egg in a way that that you were able to overcome that?
Well, I wasn't having results, right? And I really believe about the results that this profession could give, because it's incredibly smart. The new financial education that we have, because many, many years ago we didn't have that. But now we understand that the money is in building networks of whatever you want. Telecommunications are networks, franchises are networks. Everything that grows big and huge is built on a net. So I understood that, and I really wanted to build a business, but I wasn't getting results because I was doing it the way that I thought it was the right way. And I was looking at people that were having results, and they were doing it in a certain way. So for me, it was just to say I had to become humble about, I don't know anything about this, and I want to know, and I'm just going to open my heart and my mind to see, please teach me, and I'm open to learn. So I think that was for me, was I'm spending, every month my ownership and products, and I love the products, so I buy more of them, but I don't know the results. So I think that was for me the.
I think referring to couples, my advice to couples that are building, that are starting out, and ones that are having current issues, is understanding each other's weaknesses and strengths. One might be stronger at systems. One might be stronger at contacting people on social media, speaking with leaders, and doing the background work. And then another partner, like my wife, she's great with people. She's great up on the stage. She's fantastic. She makes that connection. She has that. And I admit, I really don't have that. And do I spend my time building that? And as a partner, you got to understand, this is a business too. And you want to succeed. So we took a look at our strengths and weaknesses, and then say, okay, I'm going to do this part of it, and she's going to do that part of it, and we'll develop it together.
Yeah.
And you have to have that agreement, and on time. You have your family, you have your children. You have to understand that you're going to be out there making those meetings, those one-on-one, three-way calls, and somebody has to take up that slack too with the family, and we really have to make that communication and understanding.
And one more thing, never argue about the business. The business is the business, but don't argue about it. It's and when you have disagreements about the business, you talk them in from a place from love and understanding, but never from argument, because that will reflect in your personal life. So in your life as a couple, of course, it's all together in a way, but never argue about the business. Just, is there disagreements, just talk it over from the heart, and understanding the other side, and an agreement, but never fight, never about anything, of course, but especially not about business. Yes.
And another point is belief. There's couples there. The one couple is one person in the couple has a strong belief in network marketing, and this is where we should go, and the other one may not. And I've experienced that building Red's network marketing with couples, and it could be conflictive. And it's very important when a couple comes in that they both have more or less the same belief, and they're on the same team, on the same side, with the same goal. And you will succeed.
And it can be really powerful. I tell you, doing this business together is so incredible, because you travel together, you travel to a place, and then you're working and traveling at the same time. It just empowers your life so much. I mean, if your couple is your best friend, of course, right? I mean, if your couple, it's not like that. We don't have a couple that we work, but it's a good match. I tell you, I wouldn't change it for nothing. I think this is the best for me to be able to do this with Paul, and to grow each other, because we do grow each other. We tell each other, you know what? I think you should work a little bit on this, and you should work a little bit, and allow us to become better us together, and we make money during that time. How nice is that? Yes.
Yeah, that really is the cake, and getting to eat it as well. Guys, this has been very, very insightful, and I think there's more communicated just by even observing you, looking at you, and how you even answer the questions together. And as I often emphasize, this idea that together we overcome. You guys are a living, breathing, heart-beating example of that, just in observation. So I want to thank you for the example that you are to inspire other couples who are building together.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been very good for us.
Yeah. And thanks a lot for this chance to speak out to people. And it's been great. We really appreciate it.